I'm Nils Rosenblad. I'm the foil designer at Naish. I'm just here I'm going to talk a little bit about the foils that we're super excited about for winging as we enter this whole new paradigm of the sport and everything. Winging works great on a huge range of foils, and we obviously have had a surf range. We started working on foils with Kai Lenny in 2016, so we've got a really evolved surf range, which makes a great, all-around foil for what everybody's doing. But where it's going now is people are really starting to look at higher performance and, more upwind, downwind. They're looking at glides. They're doing all kinds of things. So the first thing I want to talk about is our high aspect foil range. This is a foil range that we originally developed for surfing and downwind riding a couple of years ago, and it's been evolved. It's basically what's happening, and you'll see this in a lot of brands are going to higher aspect. This is a really tuned foil, and it's turned out to be just an incredible foil for light wind winging because it launches so early, and then it has a really long glides, and it just enables you to get through the flat spots. They're very controllable. They're still designed because there was a lot of surfing and downwind riding. They still turn really nicely. That's one of the things about this elliptical planform as opposed to something that's a little more rectangular at this aspect ratio. It's actually, the wingtips are pretty slippery, which allow you to carve sharp turns and so on and so forth. But as we worked on these, we realized that because winging you're always powered up, anytime you have sort of consistent wind or whatever, you really don't need the glide ratio so much. And what we looked at things we could do to improve the rider's experience on a wing. And what we came up with was taking the same basic DNA, and by DNA I mean the section, this part of the planform of a high aspect wing, but creating these truncated wingtips. And this is a foil that has almost the exact same lift as a high aspect foil. It doesn't glide or pump quite as well, but what it does do is it just allows incredible freedom of motion in terms of carving turns, riding waves, chasing swells. And it wouldn't work for, like, for example, downwind foiling, where you're just really relying on the glide. But when you have a wing, you've always got that little bit of force driving you, and you can easily stay on these. So this has really become what we think is going to be the all-around wing foil of the future. When you compare these, you can really see how this new wing really comes right out of the middle of the old high aspect wing. So it's got that same DNA and everything, but it's been something that's been quite a game changer for everybody winging on Maui. The people that are really comfortable on the winging on their surf foils easily transition to this one. It's faster. It does everything the other ones do, but at the same time it pushes into the performance envelope of a higher aspect, higher performance foil. And then the last foil I wanted to talk about is a foil this is a foil I originally designed. I did a lot of work for the America's Cup, but I came back from one of those sessions where I was down there for a couple weeks, and Robbie's like, I want a really fast foil for windsurfing. And he's still riding a fairly big foil at that point on Maui. He's really windsurf foiling in light winds, so this was something that was just developed to be just a really high-tech, cutting-edge speed foil, and it's turned out to be the go-to performance foil for the guys we have on winging. It's not super small, it's a 914, but this is an incredibly quick, slippery, fast foil. It has a lot of interesting things in the way the pressure distribution is designed, so at speed, this foil actually becomes more stable as you accelerate, and that's really the third foil that I'd recommend for winging, and that's where we're at.